everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Well, I've got to make it a video about being an idiot, right? I got to take accountability for missing the mark sometimes, and that's today's video. I know I haven't had to do this very often, but when I have had to do it, I do it. And a lot of creators don't do what I'm about to do, right? So I read a lot of the comments about my video. I rewatched my video, and I'm going to sit here right now. I'm going to talk to you guys about the comments that you left, and I'm going to take accountability for how I missed the mark and why I missed the mark. And let's see if I can learn from this. All right, let's do it together. I released my Trisha video yesterday. Big, part of this whole Colleen story was Trisha finally telling her story about what really happened after not saying anything for the first, 2 weeks of it. And then finally when her name was mentioned and her shit was coming out, she had to kind of get ahead of it and say the thing that she needed to say. And I've seen a lot of comments of her saying, why didn't she say anything when she knew? Why didn't she drop Colleen from the beginning? Why did she only drop Colleen from the moment that she was brought into it? And that's content creation. That's Trisha Paytas, right? That's just how this really works. Trisha Paytas finally gets in, then she makes her comment. I don't know what she was thinking before. Was she going to drop her if her name ever came up? I don't know, right? So that's something I definitely missed the mark on, was kind of really trying to dig deep into what was really going on, into some of the things. I've been reading a ton of the comments, everybody, and I absolutely, without hesitancy, can see right now I missed this mark 100%. And here's how I missed it. I had zero empathy for Trisha because of my disdain for her. Okay, Trisha Paytas is a child exploiter. And on this channel, Dad Challenge Podcast, I absolutely call out child exploiters. It's one of the main things I do, on top of other things, but I absolutely despise when people exploit children on YouTube and any social media. It's something I do. And when she does that, it's sometimes it really can cloud my judgment. And I mean, that's a good and a bad thing, right? Because when it comes to a story like this, I missed the mark. When it was supposed to be about Colleen, I made it about Trisha because my anger towards her. Now, in the end, I say I hate people and I say it flippantly. I absolutely don't hate any of these people. If I met them in real life, I wouldn't be like up in their grill and try to fight them or whatever. I would never do something like that. Consequences, yes. I wish consequences on these people, right? Does Colleen deserve the consequences she's getting? Yes, that and more. And so this is really about Colleen, and I made it about Trisha because of the things that Trisha's done. And I was doing this big research thing on the huge snark forum where all the things that Trisha Paytas has done over the years, and it is numerous, everybody. Trisha Paytas is not innocent overall as a creator, but in this story, she had a story to tell, and I missed the mark by not listening, right? And that's stupid of me because it's about Colleen. Right now, the enemy of my enemy is my friend at this point, right? I should have taken this opportunity to say Trisha Paytas is right, Colleen's a douchebag, and I sort of did, but I missed the mark. I didn't do it like I should have done it, like I normally would, because of these people. I honestly believe they deserve each other to some degree. But so this is what I missed here about the Trisha Paytas story. A few things. Because I'm a blind commentary reactor, I don't do research. Right? I research as I go. So I build up that research in real time as I watch the videos with you guys. Okay? That's just how I do it. That's how my brain works. ADHD, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Doing research videos is awesome and it's fun. And when you can tell the difference between when I do those and when I blind commentary react. But I like blind reacting because I think my first impression is sometimes often my most genuine impression. And I think that's where I'm my most honest and I'm at my best. In this case, not so much. I missed a couple of things. One of those was that Adam is the one that gave her the heads up. So she was talking about, 2 weeks ago or before this whole thing dropped, where she had reached out to Colleen and said, hey, were you making fun of me for my porn, blah, blah, blah. And Colleen was like, no. That's because she was given a heads up by Adam, right? And so that's why a lot of people were also commenting like, well, why didn't Trisha speak out during the first part of this whole thing? Why did Trisha only care when Trisha's name came to it? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, it's likely because now she's in it. Like her name has been mentioned. She's part of the thing. She's been tweeted at, blah, blah, blah. It's part of the cancellation. So she stepped in because it's her prerogative to do what she wants to do when her name is mentioned, right? So I definitely missed that one. Another thing I missed was that someone said, no, it was Colleen said it was a minor that sent the pics, which means that Colleen was lying. And I got confused and said, why is a minor accessing OnlyFans? But it wasn't. It was Colleen sending the minor, which is what Trisha Paytas said was illegal, which I think I did touch on, but I didn't emphasize it enough. It turns out that Colleen was the one sending this to minors, which again, yes, is illegal. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to hear the end of that. That is going to be a thorn in Colleen's side and should be, and just adds to the compounding, consequences and cancellation, or whatever you want to call it, to this whole story. And I missed it because I was being a dick to Trisha, because I'm a dick. I was being a dick and I'm an idiot. I should have just listened, because there are content creators out there, like I just did the Matt and Abby podcast, and I'm like, man, I had a new respect for Abby for saying the things she said, and I will have that for people, no matter what you do. I think if you do turn a corner and you made all these mistakes and you did all the child expectation, you did all these things, and you say one day, hey, look, I'm done with that. I'm taking all my old videos down, and I'm going to not exploit my child more. I've always said, then I will stop talking about you. I will give you a high five. I'll take my content down about you, because I do think that everybody can have a redemption arc. Everybody can wake up one day and say, I'm going to be different, I'm going to be better, and I'm not going to do this to my child. And I think everybody has the capacity to do that, and a lot of people do. And I want to think that about everybody, including Trisha, and I didn't hear, and that's another way I missed the mark. Because a lot of comments are like, Trisha's changed. She's maturing in the past year, this and that. Again, I don't watch her content, so I don't know. Because I don't want to watch her content, right? Because I have this disdain for people who exploit children. I don't want to like watch them as entertainment. I don't watch YouTube as entertainment. I just don't have time. That is, again, another place where I missed the mark. So now I'm going to just read some of the comments that I got that woke me up, because I took a break moving and I started reading the comments. I'm like, man, what's going on here? I'm reading all the comments, and this is why it's important for creators to listen to the people who watch them. And I mean, not the haters on your Reddit thread and all that. Who gives a shit about those people, right? I can tell the difference between a Redditor leaving a shitty hate comment on my video and regular people who I read comments from every single day who are like, you missed the mark, Josh. You missed the mark. You didn't do this right? I can tell the difference. And that's the point of it. And if a creator doesn't understand that and can't see that, they're going to fail. Right? Because I'm nothing without you guys watching me. Right? And I'm also a shitty person if I don't learn from my mistakes. If I go into the real world, if I go into any real world and I'm still this type of person, I'm not a winner, man. I'm a loser. So I don't want to be a loser. I don't want to go out there and have people think I'm a douchebag and that, maybe because I made this mistake. I want to be better from this. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to miss the mark again. I want to see, where did I miss the mark here? How do I get that empathy back? Why did I do this? Right? I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, what happened here? And the only thing I can think of is just like, again, what she has done in the past, plus the stress of not sleeping for like 5 days and everything else. Not excuses. I'm just saying, just all that compounds to me being a complete idiot, not paying attention to where I should have been paying attention. And here are some of the comments that really woke me up. I'm not going to say who the username is, but really important comments, and thank you for them. Comment right here. I normally agree with you, but this wasn't it. I don't like Trisha at all, but I thought her video, whether she made money or not on it, was real, vulnerable, and had a lot of good points. Nobody uploads on OnlyFans thinking that a subscriber is going to download the content and distribute to minors, much less the same person to have to go watch parties involved with PRN and same minors. I hope that you can remain impartial as you continue to expose child predators, but to me, this wasn't it. That's the type of comment when I read it, I'm like, hey, that's not a hater. That's a person who has generally watched me and agree with me and is saying, hey, you got this one wrong. And that was a lot of those types of comments I got today that I was like, I got it wrong. Talked to my wife. I'm like, she's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, I got this damn wrong. I got it wrong. Sometimes I have epiphanies as a person. I grew up I was super annoying in high school. I've told this in my story. Nobody liked me. I was just super douchey. I changed who I was when I went to college because I wanted to be someone different. I wanted to be someone liked. Right? Because I know I was never liked. I was always bullied and everything else. So I am not above the idea of like, sometimes you got to change no matter how old you are, no matter, how embedded you are into some certain topic or whatever. But if you make a mistake, you got to change it, right? And I do think that there is inherently goodness in every person to some degree, right? Even Trisha Paytas, even Colleen Ballinger. These people have made shitty mistakes in their past. Colleen Ballinger is kind of in the middle of it though at this point where she has to reap what she has sown. Okay, that's an inevitable thing that everybody should have to do. And like, I'm facing consequences for being a shit ass right now, for being a person without empathy and letting my hate take over instead of allowing the story to be told, right? And so we all make mistakes. It's how we respond to our mistakes that really matters, I think. Another comment, you seriously let your bias get in the way here. The fact is this about the most serious allegation made against Colleen this entire time, and you're not taking it seriously enough to actually listen to Trisha's points. Absolutely right. I wasn't. I was not taking it seriously enough because it was hard for me to take Trisha seriously ever. But Trisha, actually, you're right, in this video was probably the most serious I've ever seen her. A lot of people commented that too, and I think I said at the beginning, I've never seen her more serious. I've never seen her speak so slow, have thoughts behind her thing, and I didn't see it because I was just angry. And I shouldn't have been. I should not have let that cloud my judgment. Another comment, Josh, I love your vids, but this ain't it. Maybe it's the move and you're healing, but you missed the point on this one. Colleen was paying for the adult content and sending it to minors. You may dislike her, but she didn't deserve this. Agreed. Completely. Again, one place I missed because I was just letting everything cloud my shit. Here's a comment. Again, I have to take these seriously. It's really important to me. I love everything you do, Josh, but this reaction was victim blamey and gross. Even though you don't like Trisha or SEX work, you can still feel bad for Trisha that her friend was mocking her body and treated her like a joke. Agreed. You're right. The issue isn't looking at her nudes. The issue is she took them from a paywall and shared them with minors. Again, that's the biggest thing I missed in this whole thing. Like, I should have just focused on that. I completely missed that. And generally, I'm pretty onto those things. So I missed it. And when Trisha asked Colleen, she denied all of it. Yeah, I got that one, only for it to come out to be true. Trisha is a victim of SA and unsolicited nudes, so she knows what it feels like. That's why she apologized to Adam. Colleen is the same woman who has "Women Are Beautiful" on her merch. I like the point where it's like, even though you don't like her, you can still cover this with integrity. And I didn't. A comment. I agree with the comments. You did miss the mark on this video. You could have actually listened and reined in your snark. Agreed. I should have. And here's one of those ones I was talking about Colleen, or Trisha being a better person. Says, I usually love your content, but I don't like your take on this. Yes, Trisha has done horrible things, but she also has really improved on being a better person. Mental illness is a real thing and can make people do horrible things. Please research what borderline personality disorder is. I have that, and I'm pretty sure it's what Trisha has. It's an extremely difficult disorder that affects your relationships. Also, Trisha posted this stuff legally. Yes, there are risks, but it's disappointing still if your friend did stuff. Agreed. That's one thing that's true about this whole thing, is that Colleen was taking advantage of Trisha throughout this whole thing by bringing her into the podcast, bringing her into the fold. Because now that we realize, Colleen was just doing that to make bank, to make another source of revenue. Maybe Colleen was trying to be Ethan from H3 and be that whole other side because she sees how popular that got, and that Trisha was the sidekick to that. Maybe Trisha was looking for a dumb sidekick, or whatever you want to call it, right? The side character that you can make fun of. That's what it probably looks like here, and Trisha didn't see it. And the fact that she has mental illnesses and all these types of things probably makes it even harder in the end that she can't trust anybody, right? So I agree with you. I never liked Trisha, but no one deserves what she's going through. Agreed. Nobody deserves this shit, and I miss that. I can't believe, and generally I'm pretty open to that thing because I've gone through shit myself, and I do have empathy. I actually do have empathy. When I see someone struggling with the same thing I might have struggled with or had the same things, I have a massive amount of empathy. Which is why I do what I generally do on this channel, right? I didn't get the justice as a child that I deserved, and so I take that on as an adult. I consider that empathy. I really do have empathy. And for this one, I don't know what happened. Maybe the empathy fell off with the scooter accident. I don't know. This is from a commenter that comments all the time, and she's awesome. She always has great things to say. She says, I get that Trisha has made mistakes, but Trisha has really changed a lot. And this horrible, no matter what a person has done, making fun of someone's body and pretending to be their friend is horrible. It's absolutely right. Colleen, again, is a backstabbing, two-faced, lying bitch. That should have been this whole video. That should have been where it landed every single time. And as Trisha was calling out, I should have agreed with her on those points and just left the shit about Trisha out. Because it really wasn't supposed to be about Trisha. It's supposed to be about Colleen. I feel like an idiot. I feel like Patricia was present in this video, not Trisha, the internet character. I missed that, but that's a really good point. If we're ever looking for the real and raw person that Trisha says she is, that was probably the one, that was it. That's who she probably really is. Someone said, you have to have a little grace. It's true. Although I cover what I consider sometimes the worst of the people on the earth, like not the worst of the worst, but they're like, if they're like 1 out of 10 worst people, child exploiters on the internet land around a 5-6 depending what they're really doing. Okay. And so you're right. But everybody at some point deserves to have a little bit of grace if they've done some good stuff on the outside. I don't know. Grace anyway. If I do claim that I believe in Jesus and I believe in the Bible says all that stuff, I often don't talk about that stuff because it's something I'm struggling with huge. But you're right. Everybody to some degree deserves that no matter what. Especially if they're telling their story about being a victim. And I'm supposed to be covering it because I'm covering the Colleen thing. So this is the other thing I was talking about. So to be honest, Trisha wouldn't have said anything if it didn't involve her, even though her podcast partner groomed underage fans. Do I appreciate she made this video? Yes. Do I think there's improvement in her handling things? Yes. But also, she admitted she kept texting with her last few weeks during cancellation prior to the Johnny's proofs about Colleen texting her nudes. That's the one thing that maybe I could have focused on instead of the snark and been like, hey, where were you at the beginning of this? And why did it only matter when you joined in, right? That maybe could have been the extent of the snark. I shouldn't have talked about the other shit. That should have been it. And I missed that too. Plot twist. You live in Mark's basement now. Yeah, it is. I do. Someone said this, says, I appreciated Adam's reaction to Trisha's video because he reminded everyone that he has been telling Trisha about Colleen for 3 years and told Trisha that Colleen actively disliked her, and Trisha didn't believe him. He also revealed that Trisha was deleting any comments about Colleen, including comments asking her to respond. Trisha only cares because she was the target. She didn't care when the children were the target. Shame on her for pretending she just found out what Colleen had done. Someone responded to that and said no. She finally responded when she saw the receipts that matched up with what Adam was saying. Adam said a lot of things against Trisha over the years. Trisha believed Colleen, who she thought was a friend, over Adam, who she considered to be problematic on this one. And all this really serves to tell you is that you can't trust anyone in the internet. There's no such thing as YouTube friends. Okay, Adam was trying to be nice to Trisha, even though he probably doesn't like Trisha very much, and was sending her the thing, but Trisha didn't believe him. Can you blame her, right? Would Trisha believe me if I send her some shit, right? So I sort of get that. But it does make sense that, like, she didn't say anything and was deleting comments about this stuff. That did have to play, and I didn't play that either, and I should have. Your background looks like a school picture. That's exactly what it is. A lot of people are upset too that I said something about, like, people make fun of people. That's what we do. That's what humans do, and we do. And it's odd that a lot of the people who are upset with that are ones that will go to her snark thread and completely make fun of her. So I'm just saying, maybe I got that wrong too, but at the same time, I'm trying to say that making fun of people is inherently what people do. I do it. People make fun of me all the time. Like, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it happens. And it sucks, but it does happen. I don't know if I got that wrong. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Again, I'm kind of foggy on this whole thing. But I make fun of people, so it's hard for me to just say, don't make fun of people, because I absolutely make a living making fun of people. The difference is I don't just make fun of people who don't deserve it. I make fun of the people who do deserve it. Right? That's kind of like my weapon of choice when it comes to exploiters. I'm not going to hunt them down and do all these things and whatever. I call them out by literally making fun of them, because it's comedy and they deserve it. Because it's in the end, making fun of somebody is like, it's not really, it's not the same thing as violence, not everything else. But I think it's a safe way to call them out, have some fun, and also hold them accountable, right? So I can't say don't make fun of people, because I literally absolutely make fun of people all the time. And people make fun of me, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm a potato. I look like an idiot. I'm balding. I'm fat. I'm loose, whatever, okay? It is what it is. I guess there are different tolerances, though, for sure, for what people do. But so I don't know what I'm trying to get at here is just that I would be a hypocrite to say don't make fun of people, because I absolutely think it's fine. As long as those people deserve it. If they don't deserve it, then don't do it. That's maybe what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I don't just go randomly make fun of people who don't deserve it. I have a purpose to the snark. I call it snarking with a purpose, right? And that's what I do. That's literally the tool that I use at my disposal to call these a-holes out. Seems to work. Not all the time, though, and not in this video. So there you go, everybody. I absolutely missed the mark. I'm sorry for doing it. I got to pay more attention. I got to have more empathy, and I got to actually understand the things that are going on in these videos. I don't always get it wrong, but, sometimes I do. You're right. And so I promise I'm going to pay a little bit more attention, especially these more serious things, because this is a more serious thing. It's not just the surface level, my kid, filming them. This is a deeper one. What things that Colleen has done, and in this video, should have been like the nail in her coffin for the illegal things that she was doing, and I missed it. Because I just was focusing on Trisha because I was being an asshole. Right? There's just no excuses of being an asshole, and it should have been. That's it. And again, I appreciate the people who call me out, because that's where I'm going to learn and I'm going to be better. And you'll see, I won't ever make this mistake ever again. The mistakes I've made in my past on this channel, I never repeat them again, because I learned from it. I'm like, okay, shit, that was stupid. I'm dumb. What the heck, Josh? What are you thinking, moron? I'll never do it again, because I'm a person that continually grows, a person that continually learns, and I want to be better. I do. I really do. And I think people who don't have that viewpoint in life, they don't succeed. Okay? You should always be learning. You should always be getting better. And if you miss something, you should have the humility to be able to say, damn, I'm wrong. Because I love that about people. I love that. I love people who are like, have humility. I don't know how else to say that. Like, people who are willing to admit that they're wrong, and they move on, and they go on. Although I'm also not going to sit here and continue to be berated for this. Okay? I missed my mark. I did this video. I'm going to learn from it and not repeat my mistakes. And so I hope you guys can understand that. And again, I really want to say I appreciate those who I've read so many comments from some people that I've read millions of other positive comments in the past. And so thank you for your honesty, right? That is something that I do not take lightly. I really appreciate that honesty from you guys. And I am going to do better. And I really appreciate you for doing that and holding me accountable. I really, really do. Okay? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your understanding. And if you stick around, thanks. If you don't, I understand too. Gus says thanks too. He's over there hanging out with Sam. Hey, Gus. What are you doing, buddy? He loving it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my school picture background videos, and I really appreciate you guys. Take a deep breath with me. I'm sorry. I will be better for this, but I'm still going to continue to talk about Colleen and take this girl down. She does not deserve the platform she has. Okay? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing, incredible, and valuable. I won't forget this moment. Okay? And I will see you when I see you.